So, how can bringing the mindset of a football coach help you trade better and more profitably and with less stress? That's what we're going to talk about today. Because, really, if you think about it, there are a lot of parallels between being a football coach, American football, not soccer, and being a trader. Here's what I'm talking about. If you're running a football team, you've got 60 minutes, it's a finite game, and you've got offense and defense, got a lot of different things that can happen. It's a very dynamic sport, a lot of variables, tons of variables, lots of uncertainty to deal with, then a whole bunch of opponents. It's not just one opponent over there. You got 20 or 11 on the 11 on the field, usually 66 or so on the sidelines. And so it's you against a whole pile of people. Every situation is different. Every play is different, even though you're on the same field. So yeah, there's some parallels here that we can make use of as traders. And one of the best ones really is when we ask the question, or a lot of times I'll have traders, and as a matter of fact, I just got one the other day. A trader emailed me and said, Brian, I really want to be a discretionary trader, but I'm just having a heck of a time making money as a discretionary trader. Should I switch to being more of a mechanical or systematic trader? And so I replied to him and I said, if you want to be a discretionary trader, that's fine, but that's not where your starting point should be. That's really intermediate level. And it's the hard way to achieve your goal of consistent profits. And here's the thing. Even though the reasoning behind, and when I asked him, he said, because I asked him, it's like, why do you want to be a discretionary trader in the first place? Why do you want to do that? And he says, well, because things are always different. I got to deal with the uncertainty of the markets, and the charts are different every day. And I just want to be able to respond to whatever's there. So that I'm not having to sit on the sidelines. And I said, well, here's the thing. If you're a football coach, you're going to come to the game because every play is unique except kickoffs. Every play is unique. And so you have to have some flexibility to deal with the variety of situations to deal with. So yeah, it would be the same temptation for a coach to say, well, I just want to respond to whatever the other team looks like they're setting up to play. But that would be a tough way to play a football game, where it's like you wait for the other team to set up to start each down, and then you decide what you're going to do. That's really the hard way to play a football game. So what a football coach does is they say, well, we have a whole lot of scenarios that we know we're going to encounter. We got 1st and 10, probably going to have lots of situations, probably 2nd and long, maybe 3rd and short, maybe even 4th down situations, stuff like that. So there are a variety of scenarios where we kind of know what to expect. There's some similarities here. And so what we can do is develop certain plays so that when we're in that situation, like 3rd and short, only got a foot to go or 3 feet to go, there's only 1 or 2 or 3 options that really are necessary or would fit in that situation, because we're not going to be throwing a long bomb on 3rd and a foot unless we just want to surprise the other team. But that's not for trading. Anyway, now the thing is, so there are certain situations that are going to come up over and over again. And what you'll do as the football coach is you'll design certain plays for those specific situations, right? Right. I mean, that's exactly what football coaches do, football teams do, is they know that when they've got this situation, they can use this play, and they know that it's reasonably effective in this situation. And there's reasoning behind why they chose this play. And so it's the same thing with trading. Sometimes the markets are trending nicely and they're just moving right along. Other times the markets are flat. Other times the markets are kind of volatile. They're counter trending. There's a common term for it, that they're moving, but they're not necessarily trending. They're kind of volatile. They're all over the place. So it's not flat, but it's not really trending either. So it's kind of counter trending is a decent term for that. So you can have different circumstances, and what you want to have are specific plays for specific circumstances, just like a football coach. And so instead of feeling limited by saying, well, I want to be a systematic or a mechanical trader or a methodical trader and use specific strategies and be limited to that, it's like, no, they're actually freeing, because now instead of trying to trade all the time and always be on edge, and you're just looking for an excuse to get into a trade and you're having to talk yourself into or out of circumstances that may or may not be right for a given strategy, now you can get focused. You can say, I have this strategy. It works in this situation. I know exactly what I'm looking for, and I know exactly what to do when I see it. Cool. And I know if you put it together properly and you test it out properly, you can know exactly what to expect from it as far as over a month or a quarter, how that trade will play out over X number of trades. Cool. This is how we take a lot of the uncertainty out of the trading and a lot of the anxiety out of trading is by basically approaching it like a football coach. It's like we're going to design one play at a time for known circumstances. First and 10, there's always going to be first and 10. Going to happen a lot of times during a game. So let's have a certain play, maybe one or two for first and 10. And then second and long, third and short, we know that those are going to come up. So we can develop a playbook for the circumstances we know they're going to be happening frequently. We want to do the same thing as traders. You want to develop certain strategies for specific circumstances. And that way, when you see those circumstances arise, cool, you have a set play that you know works and you can head into it with confidence and you know what to expect out of it. And the best thing is, you're not sitting here trying to figure it out as you go through the trade. That's one of the biggest things. That's where so many traders say, I'm fighting my emotions, greed and fear. It's like, no, half the time, it's just because you're not sure what to do with the changing circumstances. That's half the problem. I know from my own experience and so many traders, when I get to asking them, it's like, no, it's not really so much emotional control. It's not really being fully equipped to deal with the circumstances that arise. That's what triggers the emotions half the time, is just plain not really being sure of exactly what to do in those circumstances. And that lack of clarity is what causes the anxiety and the fear, or of course, greed. You get on a win streak, that's a different conversation. But most of the time, it's not knowing clearly exactly what to do. I mean, trading is a decision-making process. And if it's not clear how to make the decision in a given moment, that's when your emotions come in and help you make the decision, which doesn't usually work out well. And so understanding that, yes, what we want to do, we want to be very intentional. We're not just going to react to the markets. That's not a good thing. We want to have a playbook so that when we see certain circumstances arise, we can act on them. And there's a lot of certainty now. Now we're operating from a position of knowing and confidence and clarity. And that's how you calm your emotions down. The emotions arise from anxiety, fear, doubt. That's where the emotions come from. But when you're fully equipped to deal with whatever the markets are throwing at you, and you know exactly what to do, and you know exactly how to respond, and you can execute well, and you know exactly what the outcome is going to be at the end of the month. And of course, on every trade is always a percentage thing. But at the end of the month, it's like, yeah, okay, I placed 50 trades, and I know the X number of them are going to turn out winners, and I know I can expect to make so much money this month. Pretty cool. And that's exactly how it should work. If you're sitting there, like I said, trying to shoot from the hip as an intermediate trader, as a true discretionary trader, that's really the hard way to do it. Because the thing is, when you're a discretionary trader, I mean, think about it when you're trading anyway. You're looking at the charts and you're interpreting what you see. And if you're a discretionary trader where you're just kind of deciding what it is you're seeing based on how you feel, that's going to run you into a lot of problems. But if you have a lot of clarity about what you're looking for and exactly what to do, and you're looking for specific circumstances, now you've got that certainty. Again, the anxiety, the doubt goes away. And if you're going to be a discretionary trader, the way to get there is be a methodical trader to start with. Develop the subconscious programming that lets you filter the emotion, filter what you see and what you take in, the information that you take in, that lets you filter that and interpret it correctly. If you've not had some time with some very specific methods and strategies to wire your head and your subconscious so that it's interpreting and evaluating things correctly, that's where you run into trouble. Because again, if you don't have that wiring already there, that's several months or years of, yeah, I've got these specific strategies that I know work very well. I've executed them X number of times. And so I've been through a successful routine with this a good number of times. Now my subconscious is going to process things properly. But if you don't have that foundation, your subconscious isn't able to process things as well and as accurately. And again, it's subject to how you're feeling. And the problem is, if you're feeling lousy, last month's been kind of rough. There seem to be a lot of cranky people. You're not getting along with your spouse. You were constipated this morning. And man, it's just not feeling so hot today. Well, you're going to be kind of pessimistic when you're looking at the charts. But if the last month has been great, you had sex last night, you had a great breakfast this morning, you slept well, man, you're going to be optimistic when you're looking at the charts. And that's not what you want to be. You want to be as objective as possible. So the more discretionary you are without that foundation, the more more subjective your interpretations are going to be, the more variable, the more inconsistent you're going to be. I know because and the first time it happened with me, it was wild. was running this one trader through a bunch of charts, and it was hilarious because he didn't even realize until this one chart I'd shown him. It was the fourth time I'd shown him the exact same chart and asked him what he would do in this situation. And on the three previous showings to him, he responded three different ways. Same chart, but he was responding differently because he didn't have his process clarified. And so that was one of his big problems was, it was very subjective what he was doing, and it was subject to a lot of inconsistency. And that inconsistency is what shows in your results at the end of the month. The more consistent you can be in how you're taking in information, how you're processing that information, how you're making your decisions and the actions that you're taking, more consistent you can be in that, the better off you're going to be. I mean, think about it. Simple truth of trading. You can take an average or even mediocre strategy, but if you can execute it consistently, that will outperform a great strategy executed inconsistently. You've probably experienced this. The magic is not in the strategy, it's in the execution. And the more consistent you can be, the better off you're going to be, the more confident you're going to be, the more relaxed you're going to be. And that's exactly what I teach you. Now, if you'd like to find out more about this consistency thing, my background is quality assurance. I'm a certified quality engineer. And I love it because the quality assurance whole thought process, the principles and tools is what allowed me to turn my trading around and bringing that consistency first to my trading. If you'd like to find out more about that, click on the link in the description. You can find out more about the program that I have. It's called Profit Assurance. And it's really where you can get that consistency built into your trading that you're looking for so that you can go approach the markets in a very methodical, very playbook style manner, like a football coach. And it's when you're very settled down, it's very clear what you're looking for. It's very clear what to do when you see it, execution, and very clear what to expect from your trading. And all your emotions calm down. And so that only improves your execution even more. So if you'd like to find out more about it, like I said, click on the link in the description. Hopefully this video has been helpful for you. If it has, give me a like and a subscribe down below. And share it with your friends. Leave me a comment if you like. Let me know if this has been helpful. If you like the metaphors, there are a handful of them that would work with trading really well to help you understand part of why trading can be so difficult and something that you can apply to make it easier and better. That's what I'm trying to bring to you right now. So if you got any questions, swing by InsideOutTrading.com. If you'd like to talk about your trading, you can book a call with me. Otherwise, like I said, click on a link in the description down below. You can find out about the Profit Assurance program that I've got. It's very helpful. It will definitely help you settle down, get a handle on your trading, calm your emotions down, get that consistency that you're looking for. So again, I hope this has been helpful. We'll talk to you soon. Cheers.